So you know how they went to court yesterday, straight dropped Cornelius and them? Well, guess what happened? They gave Cornelius Smith over 100 years, and they gave straight drop less time for some reason. That don't make no sense. First of all, the straight drop got a history of doing the same thing. But anyways, what they did to Cornelius Smith is they threw him 100 years. The whole book at him. Judge was trying to eat him alive in the courtroom. You know what I'm saying? Judge said, not a day lower. 100 years, not a day lower. But what they're trying to do is they're trying to put him in a situation where, since he doesn't have a lawyer yet, and neither of them got the lawyers yet, and he's looking at 100 years, they're gonna tell him, if he tells that he doesn't have to get a big lawyer, and that all this can be just brushed under the rug and all that stuff. So what they want to do is get the second suspect, Cornelius, to get higher charges, the highest charge, right? And then, because they have applied pressure to him, they're going to force him to snitch. They're going to force him to tell based off of the trouble, the repercussions that they're pushing on him. So they want to make sure that he understands, if he doesn't tell, he's going to get the 100 years for sure. And if he does tell, then he gets what they call cooperating. And when you cooperate with the 12, with the boys, with the judge, with the all that stuff, when you cooperate and tell, then what they do is they take you in as their little guy, like they'll hold your pocket and get you around the system as long as you tell and stay loyal to them. But then what that does is that now every time anything pop up, they're going to be looking at you to tell, and they're going to use Cornelius Smith to tell. And once he gets out, they're going to continue to use him as an informant for Black Youngsta, for Yo Gotti. That's their plan, is that they want to make the second suspect to have high charges, so he tells on the first suspect and all the other ones. And then if he gets out or gets released at some point, they're going to continue to have him as an informant so he can bust up other street things that are going on, because he's supposedly already clicked into the streets. So when he goes back, all he has to do is, the couple of guys that fall for it, that think he didn't tell and that he's the regular guy, that he, you know what I mean? They're going to get fooled into thinking he's still the same Cornelius Smith. But what they don't know is now he's Agent Smith. They're going to turn him from Cornelius Smith to Agent Smith, where he's going to be going out snitching left and right. He's going to be the Terminator of snitching, basically. So they're creating, this is how they actually operate. So what they do is they throw big charges on you, and then if you don't want those charges and you can't afford an expensive lawyer, like at least 100K, then they're going to force you to tell, and then use that against you in the future to say, hey, if you don't keep telling for us and keep being a snitch and an informant, then we're going to bring those old charges back on you. We're going to unlock and unseal the case and take it out of expungement and all that kind of stuff. So this is what the things that happen when you fall into that kind of lifestyle, and you know what I mean? And you can't be having, like, imagine how straight drop is. He think Cornelius Smith and them are all loyal to him. They rode with him to do the drill. They were going to get a cut out of it. They helped plan everything. But then as soon as they sit down and they face 100 years and they in the hot seat, it's they're singing songs like birds in the morning chirping. So this is what happens, and that's why everybody out there who wants to live the fast life and be super popular and want to be in the streets, but then you also got all these friends, and you be getting your friends in on the little missions you're doing and all that stuff. It's just a matter of time until your friends or the people around you end up snitching, because they're not going they're not gonna hold out on info and do 100 years just for you. Like, y'all ain't that good of friends. No friend is that good where you're gonna do 100 years for them, unless that person is like your family, like you consider them family, and that you won't do 100 years for them, but you will put your life on the line for them, right? There's a difference between sitting down 100 years and risking your life for somebody for 10 seconds. There's a big difference in that. So nobody try to tell me that if you're a real good friend, you would do 100 years in court. And like, no, I guarantee you, anybody that thinks that you're supposed to still be like, loyalty is out the window at this point. It doesn't even make sense to be loyal because how are you gonna how are you gonna puff your chest up and say I'm a street guy, and da da da, and then when you finally get caught and get in trouble, now you're in the courtroom scratching your head talking about I can't afford a lawyer, but I don't want to do the time. Uh-huh. And then you keep saying like, oh, I'm gonna keep doing this in the streets, but then when the time come for the 100 years gets thrown at you, and you're saying I ain't never gonna tell, I ain't never gonna be a snitch, and then you sit there facing 100 years, and next thing you know, at a blink of an eye, you just wrote a whole book snitching. You wrote a New York Times bestseller on of snitch files. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. You can't be living this fast life and then thinking that you're never gonna tell, but then you and your friend get into some trouble, and then look, oh, you're telling already. What happened to all your loyalty? I mean, you was willing to risk your life and lose your life over this type of not telling, and this loyalty to these so-called people that some people think are their friends. But then when things hit the fan, it's like you throw all your little beliefs out the window. These guys don't got no integrity, you know what I'm saying? They should have never believed in this type of lifestyle to begin with, because it never ends it's not a fairy tale ending. It all ends the same way. You're going to be either in 6 feet under or in a cell. So this is a message just to everybody out there who thinks that they want to be a tough street guy, they want to be a rapper, and they want to be in the streets. You're not that tough guy. You're not that guy, pal. You're really not that guy. What makes you think that out of all these people who, it's only literally a few successful artists out the hood that actually still were in the streets, but all of them caught cases and had to do time and lost years of their life that they cannot get back. And the ones who made it maybe weren't really in the streets like that, and they were just saying that, fooling you guys into paying them, basically listening and streaming their songs, and they're fooling you into hyping up this crazy lifestyle that is never gonna work. And you fall into it, and you start trying to actually do this fake lifestyle that they are only talking about because it makes them money. You see, you either in the streets making money, or I guess you talk about the streets to make money. So don't be a fool and actually like fall for the people that actually legitimately aren't giving you no real messages. If all they're saying is, oh, Draco and with the wood on it, and if any rapper that says they got a 30 like Stephen Curry, you need to turn it off. That's what y'all listening to. You need to turn it off, and just, you might as well just write your own lyrics talking about coming out the mud. And it's better to listen to things that say you made it out the hood and you're successful, and that you used to have nothing and now you have something, and you want to be able to create a legacy to pass down generation. It's cool to listen to songs, music like that, but it's not cool to listen to people who say they got a 30 like Stephen Curry, and that they will ride down the block with the Glock and up shots at my ops. Anybody who ever rhymes like that or says any kind of lyrics in that kind of example that I just gave you, we all know it's a million rap songs out there with literally the lyrics that I just said, as far as in whatever way they put it, right? Those guys, they're just trying to make money off of talking about the street stuff. They're not actually here to give you anything that's positive or anything that's going to actually benefit you, the listener. But the ones who'd say like, um, you know, at when I was young, I did this and I hustled and came up. I mean, at least those guys are telling you that you can make like a 5 year plan when you're young, and all you got to do is keep your head down and keep grinding and stack your money. The ones who say stack it up, and no, all money in, no money out. Those are the type of ones that you want to listen to, where they're talking about increasing your finances, increasing the revenue that you're bringing in, trying to get it in legitimately. You know what I'm saying? They be saying, they be saying, they cash check like that. It's a I just picked up a check, or check just hit. They're getting checks. They're getting real legitimate, like on the paper, clean money. So those people, you want to at least learn how they're getting the clean checks and being able to have a reliable source of income, and being able to provide for your family, right? At the end of the day, we want to provide for our families, have a house over a roof over our head, have some food to eat every night, right? So you want to listen to people who are going to motivate you to do that, have a roof over your head, provide for your family, and have put food on the table. You don't want to listen to people that talk about starting problems in the street with their 30 like Stephen Curry, and driving down the block with looking for ops. So clearly I just gave you, I just split it up for you. So you either on this side or you on the other side. You either on the side that is positive and actually encourages people to go and be financially free, stack up their checks, and keep all money in, no money out, and start your own stuff and being it. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people who talk about that. Nip, Dolph, right? All them. So you want to listen to those guys. You want to be influenced in a positive way, at least, right? And maybe they're not the best examples, but there are some pretty good examples. And the guys that talk about 30 with Stephen Curry and all that, those guys are the ones that end up catching cases and are always losing years of their life, and they got 10 baby mamas, and none of them, you know what I mean? It's like they on TMZ. Be All TMZ got to do is follow them and just watch them mess up their life, and TMZ will just benefit all off that, basically. But what I'm trying to tell y'all is that you can't be glorifying these people like straight drop. You can't be glorifying this type of activity, because it's gonna get all these youngins like straight drop, Cornelia, all them to be living a lifestyle that they don't know is a fraud. Basically, they think that they're gonna end up being famous or something, and the one thing is, you should never want to be famous. You should always be about securing the bag, because FBG Duck said himself that I'll rather I'll rather get the bag than to have the clout. And I'm gonna leave it at that. Let me know. Hit me in the comments and subscribe to the channel.